Aduh, masalah bisa.
This is done. You need to
No, be careful.
ಯಾವುದು ತಗೋತಾರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಬಿಡಿ
Hello, bro. What's about today class? What about today class?
Today expert session. I think it will be about the project.
This is a way of interaction, right? I seriously you want ನಾನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮಂತ್ ನಾನೇ ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ
issue between the next level of Java, I think. No, actually, I'll tell you what happened is, coming days back when we installed, that time is a different version of Jenkins. Now, anyway, Jenkins version now. Correct. So, see here, we are telling that.
ಎನ್ಕ್ವೈರಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದ್ ಯಾವ ಯಾರು ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಕತ್ತಾರ ನಾವು
Good evening to all of you. I'm sorry I was little stuck in the traffic. So that's the reason I was not able to, make it. It's raining heavily in Bangalore and all the traffic is very bad over there. So anyway, we'll start now. So today, actually, I have actually not covered a topic on web development. So I thought I will take that topic today and then go ahead with the other topics. So let me open my slides. Okay, so can you all see the slide? Anybody tell me?
Yes. See the slides.
So I'm not going to, here teach you HTML, CSS, Java code, or database, or anything like that. But I'm going to just, focus on small concept. And then I have a few questions for you because you might have already done a lot in this, or maybe you have basic ideas. So I will try to test that idea, and depending on that, maybe the next sessions can be planned. So let's start with the web development. So when we talk about the segment, first thing to our mind is what? First is domain name and the hosting plan. You have to host your site on certain servers. Can you hear me? It shows that am I audible to you all? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the first web server actually students came in 1990 at CERN. It is a European organization, and this particular web server was used in nuclear research. And then later on, in commercial industry also, the potential of the web was realized, and they thought that why don't we have a kind of a web servers which can, integrate knowledge, facilitate social interaction like various social networking sites. I also provide entertainment and connect all the people all over the world. So, according to WWW, there are actually 10,000 web servers online by 1995 after they realized that web servers is a big thing in the internet. You need to have a lot of servers as nodes where you can store a lot of information. All these servers can connect and share information. So by 2004, 46 millions of servers were there in the world, and websites became a very, very critical resource for the companies. So W3C is World Wide Web Consortium. You all know that the internet is a free world, which has the principle, which works on the principle of neutrality, which means that everybody or anybody can have, those who have access to internet can see anything, and all the resources available is available to all equally, and nobody owns internet. So internet is an interconnection of a lot of network, as it suggests, and there is only one consortium, which is World Wide Web, which basically take care of that. So when we talk about this, many companies, many organizations now have no other option but to either rent a server or have their own IT infrastructure where they can either create a site for themselves, and they can have a team of developers whom they can hire, like people like you, whom they can hire and who can build their site, who can design a good navigation in the site, do a better graphic designing and everything. Also manage the social media, the content strategy. They can also create a good user experience, user interface designs. Not only this, even they want to draw a lot of traffic. For example, e-commerce websites. It's not only that you build a e-commerce website. So students, before I go ahead, I will tell you what is the entire session is designed. So firstly, I will talk about few common concept about your career as a web designers, that what you can look at, what are the different substitutes course which you can, or alternative course you can do along with the web designing, and what are the alternatives available in the market for designing a websites, and what kind of post you can take. Then later on I will take you and I will give you hands-on experience. So the topic, if you see, I have written the topic web designing and development either with a code and no code era. Now what you people might be doing is that you might be learning HTML, CSS, Java, all those kinds of things, right? But I am going to today focus not on the coding part. I will tell you the no coding era, and through that I will teach you the website designing tools. Okay, so that also I'm going to give you a hands-on experience. Next class, what we are going to do, I will tell the the QNX people, Arinakshi ma'am, to tell you that next time when you're coming, all of the students, I want them with their computers, so that with the internet, or maybe they are sitting in front of the computers with internet facility, so that we can do a hands-on practice on website designing. And also the students who are doing the AWS, they will also know one of the facility of the AWS, that how AWS is used to host your website. Today what we are doing is we will be either using one of the the content management sites like WordPress or Wix. I will use Wix today because I have certain sites in that. WordPress also I have, but if it is a WordPress, it is better. You can have how you can transfer your entire WordPress site to AWS. So that session we can uh, do it next time. Okay, in the next session. So AWS and cloud computing people also will learn something from there. So here, so designing a website is not only the thing. Let's say, for example, you want to float an e-commerce website, and a company comes to you and say that, hey, I want to sell something online. Can you help me in developing a website? Now, the first thing what you have to do is you have to come up with a better design on the website, a very interactive website, because website is something where a customer will interact. What happens in the offline stores, that a customer after looking at the window dressing and see how it looks. If the shop looks good and if the collection which is showcased on the windows looks good, they decide to whether walk in into the stores and then buy. Similarly, in the website also, when I'm taking example of e-commerce, that your site landing page should have a good design, a design which is so attractive that it fulfills the need of the customer. Otherwise, you will have a bigger bouncer rate. The traffic, you will bring the traffic because you will adopt various kinds of technology, digital marketing technology like SEO, then your email campaign, social media campaign. All these things will bring the traffic to your site. But ultimately, there are many, many things which will affect the bounce rate of the customers on your sites. So if your site designs are very complicated, if your site design is, if your navigation tools are not very easy, a person has to really research a lot to find out what they want to find, then they will lose interest in your site. Because website designing is not only technical skills, but it is also an art. Right. So I'll tell you that what are the other things you people should learn to become a full-fledged website designers. Okay. So I know few people who are professionally doing this website designer, and I asked them, and from that I got an idea, and I thought that I should share this with you, that how these website designer professionals are these skills, so that they can understand what kind of user interaction they can create, or the interface, user interface, UI and UX. I'm going to talk about that also. So what I'm going to do is, this is a world, the web designing and web development work is going to not only focus on website planning and prototyping. See, when I talk about website planning, if you see in the world, how many kinds, how many types of websites are there available? So more in 2021, around 18 billion websites are available, and it is increasing. Anybody in few seconds, without knowing any codes. Non-engineering students, today we are not depending on HTML and CSS or Java code. We can develop website by just drag and drop. Those kinds of website builders are available, and you can make professional sites. So there are many people I know who don't know coding but still have made the website on their own. So within 1 hour, you can make an entire site, and you can make it operational. So the thing is, first thing which comes is the planning, prototyping. Prototyping means that when we design a product in a market, I'm not talking here about website, I'm just telling you about prototype. So when you designed a particular product, you want to bring that product. So before bringing the final product, you bring a prototype of that. That means a model of that product. Okay. So that is also very, very important here. Okay. So, so website designing includes a lot of things. It is not about how well you have put the layout of your sites. It also includes the art of social media management on your site. It also includes the art of content on your site. And that content is so important that your SEO is improved because of the content. So the content should be very good. It should be quality oriented. It should be relevant. User experience, which is we say UX in the web designing, and user interface, which we say UI, then search engine optimization and the email marketing. So the field of web designing is also a field of UX, which is user experience, UI, which is the user interface. And so it's not about just learning these coding languages and designing a site with the code, but it's also about, as I said, that it's about UX, UI. Then you have to also, so what I mean to say that you should not feel that ma'am is telling that learning, HTML or CSS or JavaScript, these are all useless. No, this is also required to develop a professional site. But when you look at these three technologies, especially HTML, JS, CSS, and JavaScript, these are the technology which powers the front end of the web. It looks like I told you in the window shopping, how your website is graphic designing is done, how interface, the user interface is designed, that you can do. So the coding is good. In a way, you can have a very doing the coding and all, and you can do that. But apart from that, what do you need? So before we go ahead, we have to understand today the websites are desktop web application. All of you know that. And the version of that type, the other version is called the mobile application, the app. So every application should have a mobile app and a desktop app. Okay. For example, these are called actually native app and web pages. Students have to pay attention because all these what I'm telling, I'm going to ask you questions. Not ask you questions, I will give you a poll, and on that you have to do that, and I can see that. So you can take later on and tell you to take out the mobile phone, go to a site where I've designed the question, do it. I will see on my screen who has done what. So what is native app and what is web app? So if you're a developer, the difference are very straightforward. But if you're a consumer, the difference is very difficult because the consumer doesn't know that web application is designing is totally different, and the native apps which you find on the mobile phones are totally different. Actually speaking, the native and web app both can run on mobile phones, tablets, or PC also. But native app is an app designed for a specific operating system. I don't know how many of you know this. Specifically, the native app is developed for mobile phones for iOS and Android operating system. So native apps are often coded using the programming like languages like C++, Java, Swift. These are many choices which are available to do that. And these languages require, compiling. The native app are the traditional way of creating apps, where you develop a particular app used on a particular, operating system like iOS or Android using the language C++, Java, Swift. And these apps or these languages require compiling. So I need not explain you all know what is compiling. Can anybody tell me what is compiling? You can let the students speak, I don't mind. You can say what is compiling. Compilers, have you heard about that?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, tell.
Madam, it converts high level language to machine level, then machine level to high level language, ma'am.
Very nice. So the languages, so these native apps which are built on C++ or Java or Swift, they require compiling. So before they can run on any device, it has to be compiled. So each platform which provide this interface or development tools for creating native app need these extra, kinds of compilation. So the compilers is required, interface elements are required, development tools and languages are required, debugging mechanism are required for native apps. So these are the certain things which are required for native app, right? And it's very expensive to build native apps. Okay. So that's the reason once this native app are built and they are placed into Android stores like App Stores or Google Plays for downloading, they may require, and this is also listed. This will take a lot of space because this have a lot of other things along with that you have to download. So that's one thing which is there about the native app. But alternative, you can even ask the website visitors to download. You can ask. Sorry, just a minute. But one of the facility of native app that is that native app can run offline. It doesn't require continuous internet connection. One example is Gmail, which I have given here. So what happens in the Gmail? If you're using a Gmail website for writing or sending an email, and suppose in between the internet connection goes off while you are writing a mail, you may lose a part of the email, maybe because which is not there. But if you're using a Gmail app or a phone or a tablet, you can write an email when the phone is not connected and send when the connection is back. But in the web application, it is lost. But in the native app, in the application, mobile application, in the native app, it will be, you can write and keep it. And when the internet connection is back, it will start. So web are actually little different from native apps. But some people prefer native apps because sometimes, for example, when you're creating a native app, so mobile app in a common man language, uploading or making it available on the Google Store is easy, but making it available on the iOS require a lot of complications because iOS immediately don't store. And because of the scenario today in the India, you see that a lot of people are using iOS. So in that case, if you only have native apps and you don't have a web application running for that, then the few consumer you're going to lose. So what you need to have both the web applications and the web apps and the native apps. So what happens in the web app, the people can use a browser and go to the particular site like Safari or anything like that. So web apps are often built on JavaScripts, HTML and CSS. Okay. And all of you are doing on this. There are other server-side programming language also, like PHP is also there. Ruby is there, JavaScript is there. You don't require any compilation for these web app. Native app require compilation, whereas the web app doesn't require any compilation to run, and you don't have to upload on the web app store. You can just launch it with the help of the browser. So that is one facility. Now, any idea what is planning and prototyping? Okay, we'll leave this, we'll come to this. So planning, the first thing in the web designing is plan your website and create a prototype before you publish it. Prototype means the layout, just like when you're making a presentation, PowerPoint presentation. The first thing in the PowerPoint presentation, you'll make a rough presentation where you will create the title of each slide, which is a title slide, which is a body, what is a layout, what is the theme of the style, what kind of, whether it will have pictures or it will have text, how many bullet points will come, what are the animation you adds in that, which slide will come after what. When you do that, so you think about that's called planning and prototyping. Then you come to the next part, which is called understanding user experience and website planning. So website planning mainly define the user experience. How are you going to create a user experience for a particular visitor who comes to your site? So from their point of view, you have to design your website. So user experience is referred to the experience someone has when they interact with your website or when they come to your website and they see that what kind of navigation tools you have. For example, let's take one of the common website which we use is Google. the Google search engine. So it is very easy to navigate. Google has not, why see, even the Microsoft launched the search engine and it was by Microsoft and it didn't do well. The reason is not that it was Google was better or this was better. Google kept their search engine very simple. They didn't overload the designing of the page. The entire designing of the page very complicated. So even a small child just go to a page, it's a blank page, just with a search bar and few languages written, depending on the kind of a country you have logged in. If you got logged in into google.co.in, then it will be certain Indian languages written and the search bar and the signals, and the rest of the site is free. And they may have some Google Doodles, which is just for fun. Depending on what day it is, they will put that Google Doodles. Otherwise, the entire page is not stuffed with pictures. And so, what happens if I look at the, suppose if on my slide, I put all the text, everything. And then if you have to understand the slide, you will not like it. You will say, let it be. I don't want to read because it's very messy. So now if you see, I suppose I have put up something like, I want to search women issues. Go to this, where it is just written Google and I write this, I get the search result and it is very, very clearly, it gives me all information. So which we normally say, for example, the name of the site, the meta description, which we say in digital marketing, that's very important to tell. So it tells the user, it gives a user experience. So what happens? I have all these paid search where all these companies like Azio, Adidas, or maybe Reebok, or maybe Amazon, they have given paid to the Google to bring their picture. So in this way also, I just have a look on the picture. I see the price, I see the site, I see also their value proposition that there is a free delivery, and I can easily understand within a second. So this is a kind of a user experience Google search engine is giving, though the content is not there. But even if when they are listing the site for you, the search is for you, they list in such a manner that the name of the site, the title of the site, like for example, I am searching for women Nike shoes, it is written. So it is a title, the title tag, which we say in the search engine optimization. Buy Nike sneakers for the women, 70% discount. I see that at a few 70%, I will go. And I have a script says so many available. So this is giving me a student a very good user experience. The website interaction with the customers or the visitors on the site is really, really good. It makes the customer understand and very easily by just a glance that where I want to do. They don't have to waste time on this. So UX is all about managing the website visitors' perceptions of how it is easy to use your site, navigate your site, and get what they want quickly. Because we all are in hurry. We all are very busy in our life. So that's one thing. So everyone has that experience of being, sometimes it happens that you go to a site and you get completely lost. You say, what is this? There's so much of information available everywhere and all. Like all of you have, and all of us have this experience. We go to a site and the site is full of information. On one side, there's a menu bar. On the horizontal, vertically, they have placed the menu bar. I'll show you now when I do it. And you see that and you say, hey, hello, what it is. And when you click on one particular menu, the sub menus are so many. And then in between, there's so many backlinks. And pictures comes, then suddenly the pop-up comes. And small font size, the font colors are not good, the pictures graphic is not very attractive. All these will make you feel that, what, I'm lost. So much of content is there. I don't want to go through that. I don't have that kind of time. So I'm lost. So let me go to the other side, alternative side, and see that. So if you can't find the link and if you can't understand what is provided by the website, what information is provided on the site, your UX fail, right? So when your UX fail, for example, let's see this. It's not a website, but if you see that there's a confusion here, right? What you are writing and the customer, website designing should be such that customer should not get confused. It should be so simple, like the way I showed you the Google. You search for something, Google gives you what you want. And you say, yes, I got it. I don't have to go down, scroll up, look for the information minutely, and ultimately wasting my time. And so user experience is very, very important part here. So UX, when you are designing a website or you want to make your career in web development, which is a very, very big field, you have to be, you either can be a UX generalist or you can be a US specialist. UX generalists are those people who say, yes, yes, I will do some Java coding, HTML coding, make a normal site with whatever my client wants. But if you are a specialist, you will look into graphic design, you'll become a graphic design specialist. You are not good in arts, you will consult the graphic designers, you will use some graphic designer tools, make sure the pictures or whatever you are uploading, the graphs you are uploading, the text you are uploading, it looks appealing, it looks attractive for the customer, and you create a very good user experience. So you should not fail in the process of providing a good user experience. So all the user experience practitioners, so there is a post students in the organization, especially for the people who are in the web developing, they have a specialized people who create this user experience. They're called user experience UX specialist. So you can do a course on that. There are a lot of courses available in Udemy or any sites. It's around 400, 500 rupees. You can just do that course, or you may just go to YouTube and see certain videos and learn that how you can create a better design or better UX. You can eliminate some unnecessarily things in the things. For example, let me give you an example of Amazon, which is one of the best IT companies, web development apps, designing they have. Initially, when they launched in India, they found that their user were able to navigate through the products. They were able to understand the product description, and then they go out to the checkout. By the time they found that, for example, there are 1,000 visitors who visit their site. Let's say, assume I'm giving you a number. And out of these 1,000 visitors, only 500 are going to your 500 visitors bounce back. 500 visitors, which is also a good number, go to a checkout page. And now out of that, only 50 people will check out. That means the 500 people have an intention to buy, but only 50 people could complete the checkout process. Then they thought that why this is happening. Today, data analytics helps a lot to understand the traffic behavior. So they understood that the number of steps in the checkout was too long and too difficult. The first stage, you have to confirm whether you bought that product or not. Second stage, you have to go through the thing. If next class, I will show you the design, actual design, which some of my students who were working in Amazon has shown me that. And the second stage was, so there was 6 steps process. From one page, you go to the other page, you go, then second page, then third, fourth, fifth, and then first, lastly, so user get tired of going to this, and ultimately he says, okay, let it be. I don't want to do that. It's very complicated. So what I mean to say is, don't make it very complicated. Don't be generalized as a UX professional. So as I said that US experience can be generalized or it can be a specialist in one area. Generalized people work with small business people. Like if you want to become a US journalist, then in that case, you can do it for small business houses, startup company, non-profit organization, because they don't invest so much on user experience. For them, they're just providing information to the user. They are not selling anything, or they don't want the user to get impressed through their sites. Okay. So what they do is, these generalist people, they identify what does the organization want, what kind of people are going to come on their site, and what will be the website goal. The website goal is just to provide information to the people, not to sell anything, not to increase the traffic, not to do marketing. Then in that case, you can be a UX generalist. You can just have a general websites. So you have to, if you know your target audience, if you know that what kind of goal you are going to serve through that, then you can become a journalist like that. And then firstly thing is, you will create a prototype, test them with a member of, so specialist are what people? At first, before I go to journalist, I'll come to specialist. especially focus on one area of user experience in a very depth. For example, that let's say one organization like Quora, which is a question answer site. Now, Quora also, if you see, the site is designed in such a way that you can search for a particular kind of question, and you can find those questions and the answers given with certain link of the backlink of the other side, where if you want to see in detail, and it is very simple. There is no photographs. The font size are all universals. They use black and white only. They don't use colored, unlike in other sites. They don't complicate. They don't have menus, sub menu that okay, if you have this question, if you have question related to pharmaceutical, go to company, select pharmaceutical. If you have question related Python, go to the software, select Python. Not nothing like that. Just go to the search bar, type your question, you will get everything. So this is called the focusing on one area. So the person who want to become a UI specialist should also have a little bit knowledge about database. Database is just like how you manage your library, where you have so many books. So that's kind of a thing. They need to know how to classify information, how to identify information and put them into various segments, how to organize information on the websites. So user specialists focus deeply and do a lot of research on the user who are going to come on your site. What kind of people? For example, let's say a website is giving example about, let's say it's a travel, Trivago, let's say it's a travel information site or TripAdvisor. So they are specifically giving advice. Suppose you're going to Paris, if you want to stay near Eiffel Tower, which is the hotels which are available, what you can do in Paris, all those information when they are giving. So what they do is they understand what kind of people are going to come to their site. The people who want to go to Paris or Europe, they are going to come to their site. What are the main thing they will look at? They will always, the people who are going to Paris will obviously go to Eiffel Tower. So all their things, they understand the user, they do a lot of research, they do the user research, then they create a prototype, and they have a set of people from the user, a sample of pop from there, and they test the website and they ask them to give the feedback. And after they do it, user specialist, UX specialist also do one thing which is called branding of the site. Very, very important concept today. So it's not about designing the site, deciding the content of the site, designing the layout of the site, but also deciding the branding of your site. Okay, so it is better that when you want to become a specialist, don't become a journalist. Do a lot of research, learn about, ask the company for whom you're making the site, ask them what are the kind of people who are going to visit your site, what is their demographic feature, what is their age group, what kind of country they belong to, from where they will come, what is the language they speak. If they, for example, if you are doing it for rural India, then you have to do it, you have to think about the language, because that they speak regional languages. So you need to have a background of the people. You have to think like about how the people think. So UX professionals are very open-minded. They need to get feedback continuously from the user, and the data analytics give them the feedback that no, people are not liking. There can be certain technical problems also. The site speed is also one of the factor why people bounce back. They don't stay in your website. But one of the major reason is your site design. So this is very important. So UX professionals are actually not writing codes, okay? They are the people who will make a prototype, the design, and they will say the website should look like this. There should be a top bar, the menu should be vertical, horizontal, there should be action button, where will be the contact information, how you will first time visitors with contact forms, where will be the social sites, symbols present, so they can connect. If they want to connect to your social sites, they can do that. But they should have an understanding of coding process. So they don't do the coding, they just do plan how the website should look, but they should have an understand of coding process. They should know how the coding interface work. They also use nowadays. There's a lot of prototype software website builders are available. They use that. Most important website builders are Figma, Sketch. I'm sorry, I said the prototype, where they can see that how their site will look after it is published, before they actually give it to the coders to code it in HTML, Java, or whatever they were, CSS. They basically use a tool. If you want, you can write down that these are the tools which the normally people look. So as I said, that US generalists work with small businesses. They do all these kinds of things already. I've told you. So the tool which the UX specialists use basically is called Figma, Sketch, Adobe. I don't know how many of you know that. InVision. All these are the tools which can be used to see a prototype of your website, how your page will look. Okay, so that can be done. I'm talking about professionally if you're doing it. Okay, so they use this to talk with the people. They talk with the development team. They talk with the client. They talk with the development team who will do the coding after they give them the design. They see how this is the page, or this is the front end, and this is the face of the site. This is how it should look, and this is how it should go. Okay. Now, this, let us go to the aspect of website designing called UI, user interface. So when you're building, there is some sort of research also you should do. When you're building a website, you feel very excited, you're doing coding, but one thing is there, which is in the website designing, apart from user experience, is a user interface design. So UI design front end of the application. So that's the customer facing the portion of the site. When the customer look, user experience is how well they can interact with your site, how well they can navigate and find, and user interface is focusing on the front application or the portion of the site when they can visit your website. What are the different titles available on the website? What kind of information available on your sites. So user designer, UI designer is a bridge between the UX and the graphic designers and the web developers. So what the user interface people do, they will tell that you should have a better interface, so that, for example, if there is a picture uploaded has a link, a backlink. So how this picture should be, if it is placed in a wrong way, suppose the user it is placed on the top, but when you have a navigating tool on the side, why do you require a backlink there? Or when you have an action button, so your picture should not have a backlink, it should not redirect you to the other page. So these kinds of things they will do. UI designer also do a little bit of coding. They are more, and they are not more into designing, but they are more into understanding that how a user will interface with you. They are also the people who are expertise in animation, because UI people will more focus on animation part of your web designing. Okay, so animation can happen through coding also. You people might be learning that, because you may know HTML and CSS. You may also you might have known little bit of JavaScripts, and the JavaScript will focus on interface primarily. And the UI designers typically focus on JavaScript. They also use the expert from Figma, Adobe, and all, and they see the prototype built by the US user experience people, UX people on Adobe and Figma, and they then understand. They also interact with the graphic designers. So they may use a certain kinds of tools like Sublime, VS Code, Bracket, Adams. These are UI specialist people who create the interface, user interface using that. Do you people use GitHub? How many of you have account in GitHub? Can anybody tell me on behalf of students?
We have.
You have? I will suggest that all of you, if you don't have, please open an account in GitHub. GitHub is the community where you can, all the developers basically have a repository. I have also given you one of the coding from GitHub. It is very good. You can make your coding available publicly to everybody, or you can keep it private. It can allow you to work in collaboration with your team, right, in a remote area. So all, especially the developers, should have GitHubs. Okay. So I want everybody to have a GitHub and GitHubs, both services. Use that. You can also get a lot of coding if you are getting confused that how I should have these animation, what kind of code I should write. So you can take a repository help if it is made publicly available to you. Nowadays, a lot of web developers are using GitHubs. Almost all of them are using. You can also interact with, there is a community of user UX, user experience and specialist and the UI interface. Suppose you don't have a knowledge, you can interact and you can just make a prototype and take their help and advice. So that GitHub is very important. You can also, I will advise you people to learn the software like Sketch, InVision, Framer. These are all open source software freely available. A lot of tutorials are there. People will pick up very fast all these things. Okay, apart from coding, apart from what you're learning like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, please learn these kinds of UI and UX, software. So Adobe, all of you should know. You can also learn Photoshop if you want. I'll talk about that also. So if you see this, this is a kind of a user interface which is created with the help of the Adobe Sublime, or maybe you can use Sketch framers. And you can see that this is a Amazon Prime. So on the top, you can see there is a one grid where one picture and one particular message is given very and then you can see the frames here, the picture frames over here, how it is being done. So all these are done with the help of these tools like Adobe or Sketch or InVision or Framers. Framers can help you in creating those universal frame with a universal size. So the interaction designers, as I told you, UI designers basically will try to help in understanding with UX that how they can create a better interface between the website developers or the website and the user. Okay. So there is again one more thing which is about the graphic designers. So how the graphic designers, how they use different kinds of, suppose if you want to upload certain pictures, and these pictures, you all know that you can't use copyright pictures. And if you are using a picture of certain resolution on your site, it may pixelate. So how do you make sure that your picture, even if you're copying from somewhere, or you have to make a logo of a company, all those kinds of a thing, you need some graphic tools. So it is better if you have an idea of a graphic tool. It's not very difficult to learn. So you can learn Photoshop, you can learn Illustrator, all those kinds of things you can learn and you can create. So these are certain tools which I told you. These can be done. Coding also you can do. See, so these are certain tools. If I wish you all could learn a little bit whenever you have filled free time. Adobe is one of the best. Then InVision Studio is there, Sketch is there, Figma is there. All these are free. There are premium account also. And Adobe Illustrator is very good as a graphic design. And you can design a logo and you can design a particular, the font, how it looks, which is not available in a normal coding or maybe in a drag and drop kind of a no coding website also, builders also. These are certain other things which are available. As I said that then there are certain software which are available for editing your codes, the code which you are writing, like for example, Sublime Text, then VS Code is available, brackets are available, Atom, then Git and GitHubs, as I said, is important. You all should have. You can get help from a lot of developers around the world. Graphic designing tools is very, very important. People think, okay, fine, I will make a very good PowerPoint slides and I'll pull that on the website. It's not good. If even if you have to interact, you have to make a social media interaction. That also you have to illustrate and you have to use, especially when you're creating a logo of a company. So the graphic design is an important thing. It's not only a career for graphic designer, but also a website developer should have certain knowledge about graphic designers, learn some Adobe suites of tools. The tool package, basically Illustrator is very easy, right? This will help you in designing the logo of the company, because when you're going for a website designing, sometimes the company will say that design a logo also for me. Website builders have certain plugins for designing logos, but it is better, the better will be Illustrator or Photoshop. So drawing Illustrator is very good. The Illustrator files are vector files, which means that they are composed of maths that describe the curves and the line in the illustration. So the drawing is very clear, very resolution is very high. These kinds of drawing are actually displayed using the SVG. So this is the suits which you have in Adobe. So you can think about it. Your career will be better if you learn these graphic tools also. So you can see all these kinds of impact or effect you can bring in a picture. A normal picture you can make 3D, you can bring a lot of impact in that. This is a simple eye retina picture, but we're using Illustrator or Photoshop, you can bring certain kinds of impact or certain kind of effects in the picture. So this pictures can be, if it is format or a scalable vector graphic, it will have a better look, better appeal to the user. You can create a better user experience. So and these graphics, one thing is an SVG format is, or the vector scalable graphic is that it, these files, as you all know, the image files are big, but if you save your file in SVG format, it will compress the size. So when you're uploading, when you're making a website and you have to put a big picture, and the picture will take a lot of time to upload, and then by the time your site design, if the site design, as soon as, have you seen when you go to Amazon or you go to Google or any of it, it doesn't take, it's a blank page, and then the picture is downloading slowly, half, then 3/4, like that. It should not be like that. Immediately it should get downloaded. It's not because of the internet. Site speed is also one of the important factor. But then if your graphic is stored in SVG format or a compressed small size, Photoshop also you can use for processing your photos. You can crop the photo. You can clean them up. Certain photos have certain kind of a thing. One. So you can do that. So Photoshop actually produced a raster graphic or graphic made of individual pixels. So you can define the pixels in the Photoshop, and you can export certain image in the GIF, PNG, or GPG format in the Photoshop, and convert into SVG or maybe in the raster graphic, which has a better resolution, and it will look very appealing. Shop, but it is we don't have that kind of money to afford the Adobe suits, and we don't need this. Then you can look for one more, which is called Affinity. The Affinity Designer is a cheaper version of Photoshop. Affinity Designer is very similar to Illustrator, and it does offer all the kind of Illustrator features, but some find that the Illustrator is better than that, and it has a better designer interface and is very simple. Affinity is also simple. The Affinity photo actually doesn't offer everything what Photoshop and Illustrator offers, but then it is a cheap version, and certain features are freely available. You can create a free account there. It will give you a feel of a Photoshop and your photos. This is a raster photo where you can see the Iron Man picture. So it looks like this. So if you want a raster graphic picture, then you can go for Photoshop. Even you can go for an Affinity photo. Figma is also one which is very good. The Figma, actually, I told you in the last slide that the SVG format is the best. So Photoshop can do all these kinds of things, as I told you already. This is how the Photoshop can create a very good effect in your photo. You can convert photo into any other kind of format. Then this is certain other tools which are available. If suppose if you say that I don't want to learn Photoshop, I don't want to learn Figma, I don't want to learn Illustrator, I don't have money to do this, why should I go ahead and do all? Then use Canva. All of you will know what is Canva. Okay, so you can use Canva. Canva also offer a ton of templates for your website designing. It also offers color palettes like just Photoshop. It will give you good interface. It will help you in creating graphics which will look, which will have steep learning curves, just like a Photoshop and a raster graphic. And you can have a no background in graphic. For example, you want to take a photograph but there's a background, you want to raise the background, you need to have a black or a white background, you can do that with Canva. So Canva is a easy thing to do. I can take you to a website later, not now, after I complete this, and I will show you the affinity. I feel I personally use affinity. It doesn't have many features, but it serves my purpose. You can create a poster, you can create a good web picture to upload. So any picture what you download from Google, you can just connect, change the background and make it original yours picture. No copyright issue. You can even remove the watermark also from there. So what are the three technologies of the front end which you people are learning, which is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? Can anybody tell me what's the difference between HTML, CSS, and JavaScript?
HTML, it is a hypertext markup language, ma'am. This is the basic language to create web pages, ma'am. Web designing we can do using HTML. And cascading style sheet, this is it is having different properties. Using that, we can design HTML in a better way, ma'am. CSS, it is an extension for CSS program, and .html, it is extension for hypertext markup language, ma'am. To make interactivity to the web pages, we'll use CSS, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Fine. That's also a thing. But what about JavaScript?
It is loosely associated with the web pages, ma'am.
So can you change the CSS and HTML element using JavaScript on your website after the site is published or loaded? Does it give you
To make interactivity to the
the
web pages, usually we use JavaScript, ma'am.
Yes. So most widely used actually is JavaScript, because even if you've written something, you can change something written in, edit that CSS and HTML elements on your website. You're written in CSS and HTML and you upload it on your site already, it is or publish or preview mode. You can, just use JavaScript. JavaScript is more interactive, more
Yes.
engaging for creating a content for the users. Okay.
They are
So
static pages, ma'am. Actually, HTML and CSS, they are used to create
correct.
static web pages. Whereas using JavaScript, we can place some text boxes and buttons we can place, and using some databases, we can make the website as dynamic, ma'am.
Okay. So, but then you can use HTML, to create the structure of your website.
Yes.
And CSS also will look will give a good, better visual appealing to your
Yes, yes.
site.
In HTML,
And
we have in HTML
Yeah,
we
please.
have limited fonts properties and all, ma'am. In CSS, we have wide range of fonts, colors, and even text, uppercase, lowercase, change case, title case. These all things we can apply using CSS, ma'am. Whereas in HTML, it's not possible, ma'am.
Okay. And what about PHP, Python, Ruby, and
PHP, it is a dynamic web application, ma'am. We can embed these HTML, CSS, JavaScript softwares in PHP, ma'am.
Okay.
PHP,
Now,
it is used for dynamic, to create dynamic web.
Nowadays, what I hear from the students who are in the web development or designing, they say that Ruby and PHP have become very popular. the startup companies and the web developers, they like to use that because I don't know. I was thinking Java is the best, but then they say that no, PHP and Ruby is becoming very popular now. So
In
anyway, so are you people teaching all these HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to the students?
yes, ma'am.
So they have learned everything, or they are still in the stage
Basic
of
idea we have, ma'am. All students they have learned, ma'am.
okay. So they have learned these three, or they are learning even PHP.
Yes, some of the students they have learned, ma'am, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.
Okay, fine. Then I'm not going into what your teachers are training. I'm just giving you an overview that this is what it is there in the market, right? So now I'm going to now basically speak on the no code movement which has started, where not necessary that you need a coding to design a site. Coding will have a better professional visual appealing of the site, but then you can do that today with the no code movement. So at the beginning, when we started designing the web page, the coding were done with the help of HTML. And if you have to design a website, you have to learn HTML. You also have to learn FTP, file transfer protocol, so that you can upload your any files online. You have to learn about web hosting. You have to learn so many things. Then came the no coding options of creating a website. So these are the website builders which has come front page, Macromedia, Weavers, and they were the first visual editors which help the people, or website builders which help the people to create a web page without coding. Okay, and they also tried to automate the posting sites to web host. So you need not know HTML for that. Okay, so these things were happened in 2000s, early 2000, when people went online without having the knowledge of HTML or without involving the HTML developers. You must be surprised to know that the big news sites like CNN, they had tools like content management system, and they use these website building tools to just design their sites. And sometime what happens that you may require a developer and invest a lot million of dollars to create a site, but it doesn't work. So at this time, again, there are few content management site which came into picture, right? And these content management site has become very, very popular, even for students who have the coding knowledge are using. And these are like Joomla, then Drupal, WordPress is one of my favorite. Then I started using Wix also. So this came as a blogging sites, but now they are a full-fledged website builder site, and website building has become just like a child game or creating a PowerPoint presentation. Even if you develop a site design using HTML, CSS, or JavaScript or PHP, anything, you will not you will be surprised that a person who doesn't know this has a better design. I have so many students who my management student whom I teach. Some students are basically from IT background. They may use the language to develop the site, but most of them don't have idea. So when I was teaching them e-commerce, I will show you now how we do it. And I started having trouble because people who had knowledge of these programming language, they could do it easily. But people who are not from IT background, they didn't know how to do it. And I wanted to give them live, hands-on experience. So I thought, okay, let me use. So I started using Wix, and Wix gives me an entire option of dragging, dropping, and making very easy. But at the same time, the students who are from IT background said that, ma'am, I am not comfortable, I want to use development tools. So Wix and WordPress has the option of using both. It can integrate both. You can have certain features enabled through coding and certain features just simple drag and drop. And it's just simple creating a client. So we'll do this today. I will show you and do it. And then maybe in the next class, if you can make a site using no coding and using both the coding, because to start with, let the students do this. And then we can also move to AWS. Today, my AWS account is not working. Otherwise, I thought of doing today, creating a site using a WordPress. and then uploading that site using Route 3 or EC2 cloud of AWS. But I don't know what happened when I tried the AWS account was blocked. So I have to check that. So I can't show you that now, but maybe in the next class we can do that. So today I will show you that how you can use this content management site like WordPress or Wix. And these are all open source content management sites. These are free. You can install this app, or you can go to a web application and you can just create an account. And if you see today, WordPress alone has 40% of the website hosted on them. They not only provide you the web hosting, they also provide you the domain name services. They also provide you with space. They also provide the website building tool, the editing tools. They provide various plugin to include, for example, you're making an e-commerce site, you need a payment gateway integration, you want the supply chain management, you want to do the chat, you need to enable the chat box. All these facilities are available free of cost. And then the ability to code and include certain features which cannot be done with drag and drop. So that is also doing that. So WordPress is running so many sites, and if you can transfer even WordPress or Wix, any of this content management site, you can just transfer it on your AWS cloud. So that is also then you can use these sites, allow you the development tool for JavaScripts. So you can add a JavaScript to this sites. And so no coding tools are becoming very popular. A lot of companies are, and this is very less expensive. There's no expense at all. You just have to pay for domain name, and you have to pay for web hosting. A web hosting plan you have to choose. Apart from that, just change the design anytime, do any interface, and it is also integrated with data analytics tool to understand the traffic movement in your site, to understand the bounce rate, do the email campaign, all everything built in one. Just imagine if you have to do the coding and you have to integrate all these functions. It will take a lot of time, it will be very expensive, and it will a lot of effort, but it won't come so good. But with this no code tools for building the website, it has become very easy now. So you don't require a knowledge or a background knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Doesn't mean I'm saying that you should not learn. You should learn it because professionally, if you have to develop for a company or something, you need these tools. But there is an alternative available, which other small companies and all these companies are using. So here I'm going to stop. I'm going to just show you a site first, which is, just give me a few seconds. I'll show you two sites. One is Affinity. I will suggest the students should go through the site because these are very good, and it's really good. So I'll just share the screen with you. So this is Figma. You can see. Very easy to, create a user interface or user experience using Figma. Then this is the Affinity, which I was telling you, just the cheaper version of Photoshop, and very easy to learn. You can learn in one day. Okay. Can you see here? So I'll just show you something. For example, these are certain design. For example, if you are creating a site for a car company and you need to create a 3D model or something like that, or you are a game developer, right? So you better is to use Illustrator, but if you don't want to use, you can use this Affinity Design, and it is very cheap. See, Illustrator is very expensive, and you can show like this. See here, these kinds of designs. These are the photos which are already available, but you can create all these things. So anyway, this is one thing. Now I will move to, if there is any question, I can take that, or otherwise I will move to uh, no coding platform or website builder. No questions? You're making my job very easy.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, is there any question? Yeah, tell me.
I am Sriram Kamat from Testing Product Punatra. So, ma'am,
Yeah, tell me.
like there are no code websites and with the code website. So, can the no code website compete with the coding websites, ma'am? Can they be that reliable?
I will show you. See, the thing is, when I show you, you will understand, right? And I will show you the sites which are developed by non-engineering students just in few hours using no coding. And it's a e-commerce site. Some of my students who are very poor in technologies, they have done in 2 3 days, and it's an operational sites. But the only thing is that as a web developer or as a company, you can't have a no coding site as a full operation. Businesses can come online with no coding sites. But WordPress is a good tool. I'll just show you now. I'll just log in first to the site.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to a Wix website builder. Okay. WordPress is also very, very good because see all these sites, even in GoDaddy also, if you're buying a domain name and hosting it, you can transfer all these to AWS, EC2 cloud, or maybe on Route 53. Maybe next class I can show you that. So I'll just show you. Okay. So you can see all of you. Okay, so I have gone to yeah, gone to a no coding site, which is this. So I will just sign in with Google. Let me see. Sign in with one Gmail ID. You can create any Gmail ID and you can sign with that. Even with WordPress also you can do. And you can create a number of sites. So you can see, I'll just go to one site and show you. It's not a site, actually, it's a blog now. So initially what I suggest students is that create a blog because you don't have to pay for domain name and thing, and first see how it is and then upgrade it. So this is my site dashboard. If you see, this is an e-commerce site, and if you can see on the left hand, there is a panel where I have all the utility of the e-commerce inbuilt into it. So as soon as I log in, I have to select what kind of site I want to make. So I have selected online stores. When I select online store, what Wix or website builder will do, it will integrate all the tools required to create an operational e-commerce site. So for example, store product. I have to create a store product. That means I have to create a product catalog. I have to manage the inventory of that. So this is one feature of that. I have to manage the order. I have to do order processing when a customer places an order. I have to also look into the abandoned cart when a customer places something in a cart and doesn't buy it for a long time. I can create a loyalty program. I can create a contact form for the first time visitor to leave their contact information. I can create the member login, like how you have login IDs and authentication in website. I can create a communication tools where I can have my own site, domain name, email, and I can interact. I can look into all the people who have sent me mails. I can create a chat, forms and submission, business email, automation, then marketing and SEO tools. It is all in. I have logo makers. All these are free. Then I have analyticals and reports. I'll show you all these later, but I'll just take you to the site first. So when I log in, I can choose a site and I can go. I have not uploaded. This is a free blog now. But if I'm satisfied by I'm building first a blog, which is a prototype, which is also published. After I make a prototype and I feel that This is very good. I can publish it for public. I can do the marketing of the site now. Then I go ahead and publish it. Sorry, I go ahead and buy a domain name, buy a hosting plan and all. So when you see by the time it is, I'm going into the editor tool of Wix now. So here I can upgrade. So when I want to upgrade, I can upgrade it into, when I upgrade, what do I get? When I upgrade, I can integrate a payment gateway. I can also integrate a shipping and delivery software, which can allow me to identify my shipping region and integrate with a delivery partner because it's an e-commerce site. I can have a customized domain name of a choice. Okay. And I can have all these kinds of tools which can be available, right, for me. The logo makers, which can allow me to design a logo for my site. I will have an inbox with my personal email domain ID. I can integrate Facebook and Instagram ad free of cost. All these are there. Then I can also buy certain mobile app. No, this is a desktop version. So I think it is going to take some time because net is slow. So I will be loading the editor page. In this editor page, I will show you that how I can just drag, drop, or upload a picture, change the font size, change the layout of the site, include an animated picture. So all of you can see this now? Yes or no?
Yes, madam.
So I can just
Yes,
show
ma'am.
the view of the site.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, can you see the preview? I have not used a single code here. Okay. So this is already published, but then you can see that I'm getting all these kinds of things because I've logged in. But if I give you the site address, which is designmydress.word, this, so you can see here. So I had created this user experience, how you see that in a particular, so when I go here in the picture, the animation which you can see here, then I have I have a action button. But if you can see, this is just for the learning purpose I've done. So but you can see the font size are not so good, not so appealing. So what I have to do is I can just go, for example, let's say here the pictures are coming, but it's not so good. This is a picture, this is a grid which I have done. So I will go back to the editor. And if you see, these are the menu which are there. I'll just go and show you. So I have these are editing tools available here. So I can just go add elements. In adding elements, I can add text. Suppose if I want to add a text somewhere, right? So I just select what kind of text I want to add. Let's say this. And when I get this, I can just drag this, it is here. Let's do one simple thing. Instead of this, let's say this is a kind of a name of the company which I have done. So I just click on this and I don't like the font style. So what I can do is I just go there, click on it, change it, and change the font style. Say this, or maybe I can change the color of this. I can also add colors. I can go here and RGB colors I can add. So those are very elaborative things. I can increase the font size, can make it italic. Just like a PowerPoint, I can do a lot of things here. I can add a highlighters. I can even add a link. So for example, if I want to create a link of a web address, suppose I want to create a link which, and whether I want this to open into the same window, current window, which is this, or it should open in a new window. That means it will open one more tab and open that. Or if I want to have a light box, okay, I don't know how many of you know that light box, what does it mean? So all these things are very important. Why I'm showing you this is just to give an idea that designing requires a lot of arts and a lot of it's not about learning about coding, it's a lot of other things which you need to learn. Now let's say I have to change this. So I can add a lot of elements here. I can add image. Now when I want to upload the image, now image can always have a copyright issue. So what I can do is I can just go to the free image or illustration, which is again are tools available in this. And these are all the images which I can use without worrying about the copyright issue. So you have the media from Wix, you can see here. I can search for anything. For example, if I say Indian woman dress. See, I'm going into Illustrator, so that's the reason why it is showing me just the illustration of that. If I just select image, see if I want to add this. Specifically, these are all free image which I can use. There are paid images also which are available in this. So they give you all these kinds of things which you can do. Or if you don't want, you can just go ahead, take some picture from the Google, use some graphic tools like Photoshop or Illustrator or Affinity, as I said, and you can do that. Then I can have buttons. You can see here, these buttons are there. So I can add an action button. What is an action button? Action button will have a link to other page or link to something. So you can have various kinds of icon buttons. For example, let's say I want an icon button. I want to, write that this is mail. So I can put this. I can have a telephone contact icon button. So all these kinds of things, then I can have a social media button. I can have a PDF or PowerPoint. For example, I have a academic site and I've uploaded a PowerPoint. So I can use these symbols to show that you can download the PowerPoint from here. You have strips. The strips is very important part. If you see the strips, this is a strip which I have added here. The strip is something which you can basically add a grid to change the pictures continuously. So like a slide view, right? For example, if I want to have, it's not showing now. The net is little slow here. I'll just show you. Yeah, it's going to come. You can see here. These are the grid I can add. This is the one which I added. So I just click on this, or may I just take it and drag and drop it. So I can add this like this. If I want, I can just go ahead and change the picture and the background of this. If I want, I can change the font. If I can remove the columns, I can add the columns in the strips. I can make any changes. So just give me an idea that, and if I don't want this, suppose by mistake I've done, I can undo it. Just a minute, huh? Just a minute. Can you all see it? The site, the big site?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Now, see here, these are so many things. You can add sections, okay? I will just show you a blank site instead of showing you this, because this is already a site which is done. But this is, see, once I do is I have to save and publish it. Now I'll show you something which is very important here. I also have a developer mode. Okay. And this developer mode is also in the Wix. Just a minute. You have a developer mode, students, here. If you can see here, if I can just go to developer mode, and I can on the developer mode, see here, turn on. When I do that, I get an option where I can add a developing coding. For example, I want to scrolling, some things to go from here to, right of the screen, left of the screen, to the right of the screen, bounce back and go back. I can add a coding there. So these no coding side also give you the option. You can all do that, and everything is so simple that for everything you have a tutorial. So let's do one thing. I'll just show you from scratch. Okay. So I'll just create a new one for you. I'll just go ahead and try to do a new one altogether. Any questions so far? Okay, from here only I will do. Internet is very bad here. Let me see if it works. While it is loading, if I can take some questions from you. Yeah, students can post some question while it is loading. See, somebody has asked, ma'am, can we change the database of this website? See, these websites depends on what kind of hosting plan you have taken. Like, for example, I will show you the Wix hosting plan. The Wix basically have a hosting plan where you can have a basic, premium and all. So in that hosting plan, just let me go to that site. It's taking too much of time. Just a minute.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah.
can we create a responsive website from this Wix?
Yeah, your voice is breaking.
Ma'am, can we create a responsive website through Wix?
I'm unable. Can you put in the chat box?
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
I'll suggest you put in a chat box because the voice is breaking, so I can't understand. So I'll just show you. See, if you see, this is the kind you all can see now. So this is a kind of a plan they have for hosting. domain name and all. It's not very expensive. It around 1,500 to 2,000 it will cost you for domain name and hosting. So if you see here, the basic plan is 225 per month, which has increased now. Initially it was 85 rupees per month. But you can integrate online store, so you can integrate a payment gateway like PayPal, Razorpay, PayUmoney. You can have a customer account created. You can have a custom domain, free domain for 1 year, and bandwidth is unlimited here. Storage space, if you see when you were talking about database, it's 20 GB here. But if you take this VIP plan, you have 50 GB. You have unlimited video hours, whereas here you can play only 5 hours of videos. You can get also reports and customer care services integrating into that. And if you want to integrate the complete e-commerce platform tailored for your business, then you can upload unlimited products. You can also have abandoned cart recovery plugins. In WordPress, what happens is that you have to add on plugins for integrating these functions. You can operate in multiple currency because you have integration of PayPal, which allow you to do that. You can also sell on Instagram and Facebook through your sites. You have a drop shipping method, which you can connect with a ShipRocket or any logistic partner, which you can integrate through this. And you can also integrate the review up to 3,000. And also you can integrate a reward function and this. So this is basically, which is the plan which are available. Let me see the question. Yes. So somebody asked me, can we build a responsive website through Wix? Yes, you can. You can. Those website which I had is not working now. I had a website called anitawalia.com, but I didn't, revived it. It has lapsed it. I had an interactive site where a person can interact with me, even in the chat box. Also, when they were interacting with anything which they go, I can get notification on my mobile phone and I can reply from there. Now I can see the number of users. I can interact with them through email, any communication media I can use to interact with them. So that's not an issue at all. So if I show you again, like for example, communication, if I show you, can you all see the site? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll show you some very interesting thing before I go to communication. I'll show you the communication first. So I have one inbox, where somebody might have responded. You see here. So I asked one of the, my official person to, send a mail to me. They have sent, it has come to me. I can set up in one box. Then if you see, there's a very good thing about this. You have a developer tool here. Okay. I can trigger and automate certain features over here. I can even see the forms and submissions. I have created a contact form and submission. I wanted people to visit and give them, I can give them some reward saying that if you, provide me with your email ID, we will give you 10% discounts. So I can have a contact form, which I can do. I can view that how many people have actually opened my form and how many people, so I can view that. How many people have opened, how many people have submitted here. I don't think anybody has submitted. But I can see the name of the people, email of the people, subject and message they have sent it to me. And also I can trigger the first time visitor with a coupon or with anything like that. Then if you can see the analytics and report, that's so good here. All these features, if you try to build it with the coding and all, it's very difficult. So what I'm trying to tell you, I'm not discouraging, but I'm saying that these are the things already available. So as a web designer and web developer, you have to make sure that when you're giving a solution, let's say you're giving a solution, making an e-commerce website for a client, you have to give and integrate. So better is that you make a prototype in the coding website builders like Wix or WordPress, transfer it to AWS, and then use a developer mode there or coding tools over there and make it professional. For example, if you see here, what was the traffic in my site for last 30 days? So we can see here on 15th July, I had 2 sessions, or how many sessions? So I have one unique visitors, which is me only. I have not published, I have not asked somebody to go to the site. And the average duration was 14 seconds. And every time, and I can also see how many people have bounced back, from where they have come and logged in. From Chennai, there were 2 people who have logged into my site. So this kind of a thing I can see. I will show you the site speed. I can even measure and increase the site speed. And see, this is a desktop now. I can convert it into mobile app also, the native apps. So those features are available in these website builders or the content management builders. Now, if anybody has a question, we can ask me. See here, the site speeds, the speed index. See here, the internet speed is low, but then again, with a low internet speed, like for example, the Netflix operate on a very low internet speed, it can download a page. Whereas if you go to other Hotstar, or you can go to Sony, this if you have a very low bandwidth, it doesn't work. But Netflix has those very good high site speeds. So good site speed is very good for a website. So you should not always look into the designing part, but also should see. And then a very important thing is the uptime and security feature. That also it will show you. Then you can see the automation I can do in my site. I can see if it is not operational, but if I'm integrating and I'm selling online, I can see the sales report. How many people have bought what on what day. I can also analyze what is the demand of which product is the demand is high. And what my visitor have done. Have they seen the site or product page? The visitor entire activity I can monitor. So I can automate, I can create a automate. For example, I can create a automate for the first time visitor. So anybody who's visiting first time on my site, I can trigger a form which can come up and which can ask that person that, can you sign? You might have seen in e-commerce site, first time visitor, if you sign up and register with us, you get 10% discount, use this code. So I can trigger that for a first time visitor. I can create an action button for people who are browsing and going to the till the checkout process, or leaving something in the cart. I can send them a mail after certain days. I can't send immediately, but I can just specify the time. So all these I can do it here. Marketing and SEO is a very important tool. I can show you certain marketing tools over here. You can see it is not about making a very good site, very interactive site, a very user friendly, or UI UX is very good. It is also about how you market and how, what is ability on your site. So visibility, the first thing which is, how do you make sure that your sites are found on Google, right? So how do you list your site? So there is a local SEO which you can do. You can also create an email campaign, and this email campaign will make you will assure that you make a professional email, and it will also tell you the campaign results, that how many email have been delivered. Suppose you delivered it to 100 people, how many people out of 100 has opened, how many have clicked on the action button, how many order you have received from that email campaign, how many revenue. All these you can do through this. I have not done anything, but you can see here the social site, social ad you can create. So you can do a lot of things doing that. So you can automate, you can even go ahead and create a coupon, the discount coupons for various cards, for various things like that. The logo maker is also there, but I think it's a premium feature where you can create a unique logo for your brand. So you can just enter any name, for example. I'm just showing you a little bit here. So it asks you several questions that what kind of logo you want to make, and then it gives you a logo tool. I think this is a premium method. So I can get all these are all suggested. One, see here. If I want, suppose if I want to take this and I want to customize it, I can just go ahead. All these tools are available to me. I can just go ahead. These are all pixels you can see. So it will give me a, caster scale effect. So I can change the color if you want. You can just go ahead here, do a lot of things. I can do so many things. So this is what I, in short, that you have, the non-coding tool. Now my work for you people is that the next class which I have with you, even those who are doing AWS, you don't require to learn HTML, CSS. You learn, it is good for you. It's not very difficult to do that. But I want all the groups, if you have already made a groups in your centers, to create a blog, not a website. I don't want you to buy a domain name and site. With a good web designing, only one page and a menu. So you should have a horizontal or vertical menu. You decide. Use either a Wix platform or WordPress, any content management system, and show me a prototype. For prototype, this content management sites are good. If you're serious and you show it to your client and say that is it good, add certain codes to it. I want you to integrate certain codes, like for example, RQs. RQs like I don't know whether you learned that or not. The moving text, it bounce, animation little bit here and there. Use coding in that. So I want you people to develop one blog on Wix or WordPress, and the front page, only one page you decide anything. I'm not saying do e-commerce, anything you can. It can be a travel blog, it can be a food blog, it can be a website, company, IT company website.
Ma'am, can I come in?
Better you all can take anything, whatever.
Ma'am, can I come in?
Yes, sir.
This is yeah. So we have already given them the project.
Yes,
all
please.
all the franchises are now working on the project. Now, if you are asking them a blog, can this blog baking can be integrated into whatever project they are selecting? This is a question from my side.
The project is different. This is exercise.
Yeah.
So this exercise project is something totally their own ideas and education.
Okay. No, because anyway they are going to do the project on a PPT format. We have encouraged that they have to develop a project on a PPT format where they have to make the data, they have to collect the data points, they have to go to the field. So what I was thinking is, can they make a blog or something? I don't know, I'm just thinking loud. You have to help me in this, that can they do this, then it also becomes a part of an assignment for them.
No, I don't want this as an assignment. I just want an exercise for them to.
Okay, fine.
This is just a hand-on experience, because before they learn coding and do professional sites with the coding, let them have an idea of how the website should look. What, as I've explained them about UX and UI and graphic designing. Let them use this website builder to make a homepage, navigation menu, the site plan. All these are prototype of a site with a no.
Ma'am, 60% of the students are doing AI. So can they use it in the AI, this also, AI as a course? They can do something on that nature? Because 60% of the students have selected AI with Python and they are learning that.
Okay, the students who have selected AI, for them, the task is on this particular site, they have to create bots, not box, chatbot using AI. Can they integrate? That feature is also there.
Wonderful, ma'am. I think that answers my question. Thank you.
Your work for the next session is, from every center, I want to see any content management, WordPress you take or Wix you take, one site, one page you have to show me with a good navigation tool, good site plan, good graphics. I will check everything, and it's a competition. then let's see who wins, who gets a better design, who had a better appeal. And the AI students can use the chatbots, they can integrate chatbots. That facility is there. Let me see how they can do that. Okay, in this. Yes, sir. Any question?
So I think students, you are clear. All the franchises, you are clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if there's any question, we can take that. Otherwise, we can wind off the session.
Okay.
And also, I would like the suggestion from the students in this session itself, that what they want to learn in the next session. So that will be helpful, because I'm doing what I feel right for them, but then I don't interacting them. I don't know them personally, so I don't understand their needs. So if all the trainers over there can send me that, ma'am, can you train on this? See, technical part you people are doing already. I'm just trying to connect you with what is in the market and what's there in the demand, and what they can do in the practical sense to develop themselves so that they have better job opportunity or business opportunity. So, Sarit sir, can I
All
request?
the L2, ma'am, just a minute. All the L2 and L3, please, by coming Monday, when you are giving your reports of the mail which you have already received, I would request that all of you please send ma'am. I mean, Harinakshi ma'am has the email ID of madam. So please send ma'am what is it that you want to have an extension learning opportunity, because I think you know your students better. Please interact with your students. Which is the area in which they want to be proficient on? Please send ma'am by Monday, because I think her next session will happen in the next week. So please send her so she can come prepared and give you whatever you want. Thank you.
So somebody, Jyoti said, ma'am, can we have a session on web scrapping? So web scrapping actually is just extracting certain content from a website. So, okay, let me see if I can include something on that. So many of us are learning AI. Can you mention some case study on latest AI tech? Okay, I can do that also. I will just open a kind of a, I want all of you to do one particular quiz now. Okay. And I'll just give me a few seconds. So all of you can take out your mobile, and the site called Slido. Okay. SLIDO. I'll just give you that site in the chat box. Please log into the site, the Slido, and I will give you a code. I'll give you a code, and there is a quiz in that of whatever I have taught till now. On that means today's session, I've given some simple questions for you. So you can check yourself, because this is going to help you in preparing for your what you called. So the code for this is 2089051. I'll just write in the chat. This is the code for the quiz. Can you start, all of you? You can take out your mobile phone. All I want, each and every student, take out your mobile phone. These are the questions which are asked in the, I have asked certain friends of mine who are in the companies, who are in these jobs, asking them, what kind of question do you ask students when they come for interview? So from there, I have taken this. Okay.
Madam, not coming.
It didn't come?
Nothing, madam.
Just a minute.
Sorry, this is no such events activities right now. It is showing, madam.
Okay, 1 minute. I'll just make it alive.
Ma'am, is it the web development course? It has some polls. Is that the one?
Sorry?
I mean,
Yeah, can you
is
just,
that the web development course?
yeah, can you click on
Okay.
that?
Yes, ma'am. I see some polls actually. It has quiz and a couple of questions.
Yes,
About
yes.
8 questions.
Those
Okay.
one, that one only. Okay. So the name of the quiz is web development course. Okay.
Ma'am, there is some issue. It's showing that voting closed. Voting closed.
It says voting closed. I
Yes,
think I
ma'am.
have set up a time. That's why. Let me just do one thing. Just give me a few seconds. I'll just increase the timings.
Madam, right now came. Quiz started. Poll.
Okay. Now I just have increased the timing. Did you get it?
Yeah, madam, right now.
Yeah. Because it is showing me here, it is live.
Voting 1 to 8 slides like that. Web development course.
Yeah.
Q&A.
Yeah. So 1 to 8 question is there. The first one, which of this is incorrect?
Yes, madam. Yeah, correct.
Just please do it. Start.
The voting is closed.
Even after refreshing the session, it says voting is closed now.
Voting is closed.
1 minute, just a minute. I'll just check. Just a minute. Now just see.
Yeah, madam. Get ready. 48 users have already joined. It is showing.
Yeah, I can see the participants. Have they all joined? Can I start the quiz?
Yes, madam. I can.
It has only 30 seconds. I'll just edit
What
it.
is this correction? Development. Locked. Okay, what is the incorrect? Closed, madam.
Sorry?
Voting closed, madam.
It is showing voting closed, ma'am.
One question we answered.
I have to, change the setting. Well, just a minute. I'll just change the setting. I will disable the typing. Yeah. Can you do now?
Right now. Moving next question not coming the madam. Moving next out of 8. Right now.
Yeah,
Right now.
it's come. The second question has come.
Yeah, right now.
Yes. So the question is example of the client includes.
Ma'am, time frame is very less, like it's only 5 seconds, ma'am.
No, I've increased
So
now.
voting is getting closed.
I
Again?
just increased it.
Again closed, madam, voting. 2 questions were attempted.
No, yeah. Next one I'm making it alive. You got it? Third question.
Yeah.
Now when everybody has done, then I'll make the other question alive.
Full lock.
Ma'am, we increase the duration now. It's only 10 seconds.
Okay. The thing is that I have given now the thing is that see here the people which is saying which of these is incorrect, right? And most of the people have said native apps must be connected to internet to run. That is incorrect, and that's a right answer. I'll move to the next one. Next question.
Yeah, madam.
A cloud-based service might include your phone flash drive, your computer hard drive, file sharing, services like Dropbox, Google Drive. So 84% people have given the right answer.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Yes.
I mean, the time is too small, ma'am. The
Less,
time window is
right?
very less, actually. I mean, we need at least, a couple of seconds to read the questions and the options, so we are not getting that much time.
Okay. What I will do is, I will just increase the timing, okay, for all the questions. Can I make it 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Sure, ma'am. Yep.
So just give me a few seconds. I'll just increase the timing to 30 seconds for all the questions. Okay, so I will make the fifth question live. So 75 seconds left, 3 seconds. So maximum number of people who answered correctly is 45 students and 73% both of these answers, which is, what do user experience practitioner do in their job? Ensure users are able to complete the task quickly, easily without getting confused or lost, or ensure software. So this is a correct answer. The next question. The Dash server serves as a bridge between designer and the development team. Who among these? The correct answer is UI specialist. 36% people have given that answer. Okay. So the next question is the The prototype is what? One minute of this. Just give me a second. So prototype is basically a model of a future product, which everybody has answered correctly only. Which is the next question. I think all the questions been answered. Okay, so most of the questions are correctly answered by the students if they're answering it. So I think they have pretty good idea about the web designers, what are the different roles of the web designers, what kind of opportunity they have, what they should know apart from that. So I'm happy that they have a good idea about it. Well done. I think you people are doing a great job. And let us see that how creative they are and how